Greetings and best wishes to you all. I've got a special announcement today about an insanely ambitious project that is a long time in coming. I've hinted at it before, which I'm calling Historic Perspectives. This is going to start up in April. Wanted to say a few words about what I'm going to be doing. The why and philosophy of the new project will be coming later on in the video. Historic Perspectives is going to be a journey through an alternate, or you might say parallel, human history. I'm going to be going through various games, starting from before humanity learned how to farm with Dawn of Man, which will be the first game, and going through, if I'm able to complete it eventually years from now, all of the past, present, and into the future with space travel. There's nothing like this out there right now on YouTube that I can find. There are, to be sure, a lot of history-focused channels and a lot of gaming-focused channels. And outstanding work is done in both. But I've noticed that those channels that blend history and gaming tend to focus on games that represent a specific period of history, recreations of conflicts like World War I, World War II, naval battles, things of that nature. None of them seem to have this idea of the overarching story of history, if you will. Application of that, the type of focus I'm intending on the themes and the experience in different historical eras as opposed to the facts of who did what at what specific date. For example, take Napoleon Bonaparte. The specific battles and campaigns of his life is not what I'm going to focus on here. I'm more interested in the changes that have happened in society, in civilization over time. And in that time period, you're talking about imperialism, you're talking about nationalism, you're talking about groundwork of World War I, major changes with industrialization that affected the everyday person. So that type of time period, that's what I'd be looking at. Might be a brilliant idea, might be a horrible idea. I'm not sure how people are going to react to this, but I will say that if I had choice, if I could control the future, which it's good that I can't, this would be the thing that I would like to be remembered for on YouTube. As I've said before, games are a fascinating and worthwhile expression that we can enjoy. But I believe that art of any kind should transcend entertainment and also improve people's lives to really be valuable. It's probably easier to demonstrate the concept than to really talk about it, so you'll see more of what I'm doing as we get into Dawn of Man, but also you could check out the Ground Control series because you can see bits of the narrative style there where I'm talking about the voice actors and the backstory, and that's kind of the mixing of gameplay and other aspects that I'm looking at. Big caveat here, I am not a historian. I do not have a degree in history. Probably wouldn't even be accurate to call me an enthusiast of history. But I do very much enjoy history, especially as it applies to our lives today. The longer I live, the more I want to be constantly learning. It's a truth that's been said in many cultures in many different ways. But I believe that if you're not learning, you're going backwards. You know, if your life never is static, you're either improving in every aspect, spiritual, mental, physical, social. You're moving forward or backwards. There is no stasis. There is no staying where you are. That's an impossibility. And I want to be someone who's constantly learning and bettering myself. I'm hopeful that a lot of the issues that will come up out of this series will be things that people will want to discuss, and that I will learn from people who know more than I do. There's no way I would ever know more about these subjects than the people who are going to be watching. With regard to the perspectives part, I believe that the greatest lesson of history that we could learn is that we should be indescribably grateful for the time in which we live. Even as I say these words, as the world is coming to grips with a global pandemic, most humans who have lived would happily trade places with us in a second to deal with the challenge of COVID-19. As compared to the life in which they live. The blessings that we have are just immense. For example, consider a simple orange. I greatly enjoy oranges, especially the California variety when I can get them at a decent price. But the very idea, that I can have fresh fruits and vegetables from thousands of kilometers away for my convenience close to where I live and they're not spoiled or rotten. I mean, that's something that would be inconceivable for most of human history. I believe that most of us, including myself, have absolutely no conception how fortunate we are. And wrestling with these kind of ideas is absolutely essential to me to keep myself humbled so that I don't take that for granted. So for those of you still watching and listening, I hope you find Historic Perspectives to be enjoyable when it starts up in a few weeks. See you then.